Hello, how are you? Hopefully you're having a good week. Today I thought I'd talk to you about DEOs or DERs. They are effectively the same thing. A DEO stands for a deduction from earnings order, and a DER stands for a deduction from earnings request. The difference between the two, they're essentially the same. However, a DER is unique to the armed forces, okay? And the armed forces have a slightly different process agreed with CMS as to how it's done. Essentially, I'll quickly touch on that. If you're in the armed forces and you are on operations, then your single personnel centre will receive the DER request, and if you're on operations, they will not start it. If you're not on operations, if you're in normal barracks, they will authorise the DER, and you will start losing money out of your monthly salary. For the rest of the world, let's talk about DEOs. So let's talk about the process. So let's just imagine today is the 1st of January and CMS have been speaking to the receiving parent and they've agreed that they're going to implement a DEO. And this is the process in a nutshell. So they will send paperwork to the employer requesting the money. Now the problem is, this is where the delay starts, because if it's the 1st of January, by the time CMS do that and the employer receives it, it could be the middle of the month, it may even be slightly later. And of course every employer has a cut-off date for their pay run. So if we just assume the cut-off date is the 15th of the month and the DEO paperwork arrives on the 16th of January, then they've missed the cut-off. Now in our hypothetical scenario, we're going to assume that the person is paid on the 1st of the month. So what this actually means is the DEO request will get delayed by another month, and essentially the pay will come at the next wages, next salary run. So if the employee is paid on the 1st of the month, because we've already missed the cut-off date to the 15th of January, the cut-off date would therefore be the 15th of February for payment on the 1st of the month, which means that the employer, when they receive their pay on the 1st of the month, will find that there's a deduction. But already, by that date, by the time that's happened, it's actually the 1st of March. So a process started in January doesn't actually conclude until March. And even then the process isn't actually concluded, because what happens next is the employer has to send CMS the money, and the employer actually has to send CMS the money by the 19th and the month following the money was paid. So in our situation now, where the money is deducted from the salary paid on the 1st of March, the employer has to send that money to the child maintenance service by the 19th of April. Okay, so you can see here we're already into month 4. We started this process in January. Okay, the employer has to send the money by the 19th of April. And guess what? Most employers run in batches, okay? And most employers will want to keep the money in their bank account for as long as possible. So the chances are it will hit the CMS on the 19th, not beforehand. And of course, what that obviously means is there's an awful lot of transactions going through the CMS bank accounts, and some of those transactions won't be referenced properly, okay? So, and if they're not referenced properly, what that means is they sit there, they don't get allocated to your CMS account. And being the 19th of the month, being the busy part of the month, it could be days or even weeks before someone clears that backlog. If it's perfectly okay and it's gone through in the right references numbers and it's arrived by the 19th, then the person that's supposed to receive the money should receive the money 7 to 10 days later. A lot of people say they receive it 5 working days, which is effectively 7 days. So realistically, what we're looking at then is money received by the 19th of April may not actually be paid until the end of April, or possibly even the first couple of days in May. And bear in mind, this is a process that started off in January and it's taken January, so February, March, April, May, effectively 4 months to get the first payment. Now, if the employee were paid on the last working day of the month, then that would have brought that process forward. So if the employee was paid on the 28th or 29th of February in our scenario, then the money would have to be with CMS by the 19th of March, which would mean that it would be with the paying parent sort of 7 to 10 days later. So hopefully it would be there by the beginning of April. And that's just the way it works. This is CMS process. They could probably speed it up by saying to employees that they have to send the money quicker. I don't know why they choose the 19th of the month. They could choose the 10th of the month. They could probably use more staff to look into the backlogs around the 19th of the month. I don't know, it's possible solutions, but unfortunately people, that is the process, and that is why when your ex tells you the money's been deducted from your wages, that is why it's not available for you to use straight away. Okay, that there is that inbuilt delay of at least 6 weeks whilst the employer pays it to CMS. Where do we go there? Well, there's not much point in constantly speaking to your partner. If your partner's telling you it's been deducted, it's been deducted. If you've been told by the CMS that it's deducted it and your partner says it's deducted, it's deducted. What you mustn't do is you shouldn't contact the employer, okay, because that may be deemed to be some sort of harassment. And actually, ultimately, at the end of the day, the employer should not be talking to you about their employees' pay details. So there's no point in phoning the employer. This delay rests with the CMS. You need to call CMS, you need to chase it. But as I would say, because they're not expecting payment before the 19th of the month, it's probably not worth calling CMS until at least the 20th of the following month to give them a chance to make the payments. And in fact, I would go one step further. I'd say don't actually call until like the last day of the following month, because by then CMS should have received the payments and they should have then sent the money to you. And if they haven't, that's the point where you need to chase it. Okay, there are plenty of stories of CMS receiving money and not sending it to the receiving parent, often due to an admin error. Maybe there's a digit wrong on the reference used by the employer, or maybe there's no reference at all. Okay, in those sort of cases, CMS speak to employers, and obviously the employer needs to speak to CMS, and between the two of them, they need to work it out. But as someone receiving the money, it's probably not something you need to get involved with. Okay, and just leave it at that. So hope this video has been of use to you. Please feel free to like and subscribe and pass this video on to someone else you may know, because this may obviously give them the information they need and it might relieve their stress. Who wants to spend 2 hours on a phone call to CMS when actually I've just imparted the information to you on the video in 8 minutes? So thank you very much. Please like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you another day. Let me know if there's anything topic you want to cover, put it in the comments below, and if I can, I will cover that topic. And if there's a particular question related to this, you can put that in the comments below. Alternatively, in the description, there'll be a link to a couple of Facebook groups where you'll be able to join those groups, and there you'll be able to contact me via direct message through Facebook Messenger. I don't mind a message. So if you've got a question, just put the first line of the message, CMS query, can you help me? And I will get back to you as soon as I can, maybe 24 hours later, maybe same day. And I've no problem talking to you about your CMS problems. Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much. You have a great day. See you later. Bye-bye. See ya. Bye.